But now she recognizes it for what it is. A thing of plaster and ink hanging on a string. She is not frightened. No. She opens the window and turns her face upwards to see who is playing on her the trick. Before the quern of stones smashes down on her head, does Madame Leidner see, I wonder, the face of her murderer? A scream? It is heard by Mademoiselle Johnson, who is reading in the living room, but heard only because at this moment the window to the room of Madame Leidner is open, as was proved by the experiment most successful of Captain Hastings. The deed accomplished, the murderer pulls up again the quern by the rope that is attached to it. Have I not said all along that this was a crime passionnel? Alors, Monsieur Frederick Bosner, the first husband of Louise Leidner, loved her with a passion that only a woman of her kind could evoke. But I had dismissed totally from my mind that Monsieur Frederick Bosner could be a suspect in this case because Monsieur Frederick Bosner, he was dead. Had been dead for nearly 20 years. Or had he? Well, certainly he is sentenced to death. But he escapes. But then, of course, there is the railway accident. No, now surely he is dead. But suppose he was still not dead. Suppose he manages to emerge from the wreck with a new identity. The identity of a young man who was so disfigured in this railway accident that he is buried as Monsieur Frederick Bosner, and Monsieur Frederick Bosner will be forgotten, n'est-ce pas? You will be free to build a new life, using a new name. So, is Monsieur Frederick Bosner here amongst us today? This Frederick Bosner is a man of ability. He finds himself a profession that is congenial to him. He also keeps himself informed of the movements of his wife. She shall belong to no other man. And whenever he judges it necessary, he dispatches a letter. And he copies most carefully some of the peculiarities of her handwriting, just in case Madame Leidner decides to take to the police his letters. But these letters that are anonymous and threatening, they do not arrive when she meets, falls in love with, and becomes engaged to Dr. Leidner. It is a puzzle. And perhaps Madame Leidner realized the answer to these puzzlements in the moment before she died. Certainly that is what Mademoiselle Johnson had realized. How the murder, it had been committed from the roof. But what Mademoiselle Johnson could not have realized, as Madame Leidner had done, was that not only was the murderer Dr. Leidner, whom she adored, but that Dr. Leidner was indeed Monsieur Frederick Bosner. He has to wait 15 years before the ravages of time to his face and to the memory of Madame Leidner obliterates the old Frederick Bosner. They meet and all goes well. They marry and all goes well. Until into the life of Madame Leidner there appears Monsieur Richard Carey. And that seals her fate.
It's a bit clearer up there now. Louise has been complaining lately there's not enough room to walk about. I'm just going to tell her the good news.
He hurries to the window, closes it and fastens it. He picks up and transports the body of his wife to a point between the bed and the door. He then notices a slight stain on the rug by the window, so he places this rug in front of the washstand and the rug in front of the washstand by the window. If this stain that he's noticed, it will be connected with the washstand. There must be no suggestion that the window played any part in the murder.
Louise! Oh, Louise!
A murder most cruel and hideous, Dr. Leidner. And not content with that, you tried to incriminate Mademoiselle Johnson, who was good and loyal to you, who was in love with you, by planting in her room the very quern with which you had killed your wife.
I am so tired. I'm sorry about Ann Johnson. That was bad. Senseless. It wasn't me. It was fear on my part. You'd have made a good archaeologist, Mr. Poirot. You have the gift of recreating the past. I loved Louise. And I killed her. But you shan't have her, Carrie. You betrayed me. You betrayed both of us. Oh, if you'd known Louise, you'd have understood. No. I think you understand anyway.
What are you doing here, Hastings?
I'm enjoying my last few moments in Baghdad.
And in 43 minutes, the last train for 1 week, it leaves for Istanbul.
Well, it's only 10 minutes to the station, and the cab's round the corner with my luggage in it. How about desire?
Hoď Chanatile Seyara. Eli Tintadar Captain Hastings para.
I didn't know you spoke Arabic, Poirot.
Just a few words that I have picked up, Hastings. One should never squander the opportunity the travel affords.
Monsieur Poirot, I have found you.
What is it, monsieur?
The telephone, monsieur, from the Countess Rosakov.
Merci.
No, monsieur. She has gone.
Gone?
Yes, monsieur, the line. The reception was very, very bad, and she was speaking from Budapest.
Budapest?
She left a message.
Go on.
She said she had been called to Shanghai, and would you kindly settle her bill for her?
Her bill?
Yes, monsieur. She said she would settle up the next time she saw you. Monsieur.
Do not speak, Hastings.